Starlink. It's not mine, but I get to play with it for like a few days. Oh, I'm so excited. Let's go hook it up. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys know Watch JR Go. Oh God, oh God. Oh God. No. I've done a couple videos with him, and he has a friend. Friend got Starlink, and friend's gonna let me play with it for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days, something like that. So I'm gonna hook it up. I've heard a lot about it. I've heard there's some limitations, change of address, let's see, a double NAT thing. You know, there's a bunch of different things, but let's get it hooked up and see if I can just get it running right out the box. It'd be cool if I could. It's super windy out today, but let's see. There we go. Look at that. What do you think about that? Yeah. This seems pretty basic. Wind is blowing. I had to put some of that other stuff inside just because it was going everywhere. But this is the modem. Interesting. Huh. I'm gonna hook this up like outside. But before I do that, I have to take this cable, which thankfully is a long cable. I mean, if you're trying to like hook this up yourself or do it outside, whatever, it has a pretty decent cable. There we go. Okay, so it's super windy and that box is wanting to blow away. So I gotta put that inside too. Plug it in, plug it in. Is there like a power button on this thing? Yeah, I read 0 instructions, but I did see a light. There you go. No status lights. Nothing on the front. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so after plugging it in, it just started moving. Like just by itself. I think it's like aligning itself or something. There it is. There it is. That's cool. Okay, pretty decent speeds. It is so windy outside, I can't even talk. But pretty decent speeds. I did a speed test, got about 100 down, like 18 or 30 up, something like that. So just for satellite internet, that's not bad, especially because I heard, at least this is what the guy told me and what internet says, that if you move too far away from, you know, the home location, which the person who loaned this to me doesn't live maybe farther than like 4 miles away, you'd have to change the address. But everything booted up. I didn't even have to do anything except for secure the network because it was open and within minutes someone else connected to it. But that was it. Just plugged it in, connected to the Wi-Fi. It did the movie thingy, which I finally got it to do it on camera, and it works. Now, I know a lot of the setup he's already originally done as far as like, I don't know, connecting to your account or whatever. I don't know what the full setup is, but whatever that setup process is, he's already done it and he already configured it, and bringing it to my house didn't require anything. I did have to log in with his information in order to add a password to the network, but past that, that's about it. I'm just kind of curious now, like how good is this router? Like, it's outside right now. Wonder if my main computer can connect to it in the basement. Check this out. I took it to work about 11, 12 miles away from my house, and it just powered up. And it even got faster speeds. 160 down. When I was allowed to borrow this, like I said, he said that I might have to change my address. I haven't had to do that once. I took it to my house, which was close to his, didn't change anything at all. And then I took it to the polar opposite side of town, powered it up, fired right up. So that means so far, I mean, at least within about a 15-mile radius, you don't really have to change anything. That's kind of cool. I want to go the extra mile, literally and figuratively. I want to go out to my cousin's house. He lives out in the country. He's a straight hour away from where I live. I mean, all highway. Probably a solid 30 miles. So if it goes out there and it works right out of the box, I don't have to change my address or anything. That's interesting. To test everything out, because I'm not actually doing a full-on install. I just brought in a battery. That way I can just plug it in outside, run the cables up, no big deal. But it looks like as it's running with the wattage, we're looking at like 20, 30 watts. That's not too bad. That means with this battery, I could power that thing for 16 hours at 89%. So I didn't look at it when I first set it up, but still, that's pretty decent. Last night when I hooked this up, I tested it out on my main computer. My main computer has Wi-Fi, of course, so I connected to the Starlink service and I played Overwatch. And I got on Discord, did voice chat. Everything went really well. I played for probably about an hour, and it wasn't until towards the end of the night where I started to notice just like a little bit of lag. Like I walked into a room, someone came to shoot me, and it just kind of bugged out, and then all of a sudden everything went crazy. So I did experience a little bit of game lag, but I was also running about 120 millisecond delay. Still, not once did I drop a game, and not once did it make me lose the match. I just lose because I suck. So I found out if you don't use it long enough, the Starlink kind of goes into like a low power hibernation mode, I think, because the battery I brought would just kick off, because that has like a hibernation thing. If it's not being used, it'll turn off the converter. So it just completely powered down, but that's okay, because now I'm gonna drive out to the country and I'm gonna see if it works. Just out of the box, no change of address, nada. Yeehaw! America! Look, to be perfectly clear, I'm not saying that this thing shouldn't work between my house, work, and my cousin's house. I'm more curious about whether or not I have to change the address. Oh, yeah. So, pro tip. Oh, don't scratch, don't scratch, don't scratch. Okay, pro tip, it does have a stow mode, and assuming it has power, you want to put it in stow mode. I did not do that because it was already powered down, but you should do that. Here's something interesting. I just got it hooked up. By the way, it does take a little bit. I'm learning that. It takes a little bit to set up a new area. Kind of getting it to like wake up and scan and do the things. Like you have to kind of nudge it in the right direction. But after about 5-10 minutes, I got it to work. I did a speed test once it connected, and I got 200 megabits per second, which is way better than, well, not way better. The max I've gotten so far was 160. That was still really good. And then all of a sudden it started moving. It repositioned itself because I was, stressing it out and using bandwidth. And then after it was finished repositioning itself, my bandwidth cut in half to only 100 megabits per second. It's interesting. It probably has a stronger signal, but it's a slower signal with the repositioning. Huh. Now I will preface this statement with an acknowledgement. Yes, they do say that it takes 12 hours to sit in one area to really understand, its location and the obstructions and stuff like that. But two, I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency. At my house, I was getting sometimes 80, 90, and then it'd be 100, 150. At work, I got 160. I drive out here, now I go from 200 to 100 in just a matter of it moving on its own. So that's interesting. It's still way faster than anything you can get out here in the country, right? Still way faster. And I've taken it polar opposites of my city, all the way from the north of my city to the very far south. We're talking an hour away. Not once has it required me to change the address, so that's good. I did get into the diagnostic screen, and I did see a few things in there that it looks like it has like a gyroscope and some other stuff. So now it makes me want to try to drive with it. Like, let's say you have an RV. Is that a thing? This is the last day that at least I'm gonna keep it or whatever. And then I'm off to return this thing since it's on loan. But the last thing that I wanna do is I want to strap it to the bed of my truck, and I wanna drive around while doing speed tests on my phone. And then I wanna see, let's say if you're in an RV, something like that, how reliable that internet is. Could be completely unreliable, could be amazing. Let's find out. Okay, I have it strapped in. The thing is sturdy AF, it's tightened down. The thing ain't going nowhere. I even routed it into the inside of my truck, so I got my portable battery. So, yeah, what I'm gonna do is get this hooked up first. Let's see if it'll get connection. And then I'm gonna start driving around. I'm gonna run speed test the whole time and then see how it works. Oh, he's a good girl. All right, so it's already repositioned itself to point up. I'm gonna sit here for just a second to get an actual good connection. run a speed test, and then I'm gonna drive around just a little bit. You just wanna go for a ride, is it? This is awesome. Oh, the further away from like civilization I got, the better it got. Seriously, very impressive. Not once did I lose connection. I did get down to about 20s, but you know what? RV style, bro. This could be it. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love it. Oh God, no. It's conclusion time. Really? Okay. Conclusion time. I'm sold, right? I already got my cousin to order it. It's a long waiting list, so if this is something you're interested in, I recommend you get on that list as fast as you can. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna order it. There's a premium version of it, which is stupid expensive, which I do not need. I do not need it. Jason, I do not need it. But there's a premium version that supposedly gets, better signal, faster speeds, that sort of thing. But strapping it to the back of my car, taking it all over the city, polar opposite sides of the city, literally a 28-mile radius. I went from my house to work to opposite different sides of the, everywhere I hook it up, it just goes. It just works. The only further test I could say is taking it to my cousin's lake house in Sheldon, Missouri. That'd be another 250 miles away. Obviously, not gonna do that. I've only had this for a couple days. I already got it packed up and I told the guy I'm ready to return it. But I think this is a really, really viable solution. If you are in a spot where you don't get good internet service, like my cousin out in the middle of the country or at his lake house, right? It's perfect. You get amazing speeds. The latency can get kind of high, but for the most part, amazing speeds. It's a game changer when it comes to rural internet. And in my testing, especially with driving around. Oh, hi, Kat. Hi, how you doing? Hi. Yeah. You gonna get her? In my driving, and in my testing, no, please. I'm not doing anything. Go ahead. Do what you gotta do. In my driving and in my testing, I noticed that the further away I got from civilization, the better the speeds got. So here at my house, the fastest I was ever able to get was about 160, 170. It might have peaked to 180, but I'm just gonna go with 160 to play it safe. Taking it down south, a little bit outside of civilization, I was able to get 180 pretty easily. And then when I took it out to the country, to my cousin's house, that's when I was getting over 200 megabits per second. And for the last and final test today, driving it around the country, I was literally getting 220, 230 megabits per second while driving. So kind of crazy. I did drive around in a circle. I was taking turns and it had to adjust every once in a while. And it was one of those things where obviously it's a satellite. So it's got, oh my God, really guys? Really? Like, can you? Seriously. It does have to move around a bit. And I was seeing speeds as slow as 60 megabits per second while I was turning. So that's understandable. You're losing alignment with the satellites. But the fact of the matter is that if you're on an RV and you're driving on a highway and you're going fairly straight for like a long time, this is like a godsend. This is amazing. I want one really bad because I would like to have backup internet. I would like to have the option to be able to connect to my network if Cox, my internet ISP, if Cox goes down, which they do, and it's annoying, I would like to have a failover internet. Not to mention, in the very few select times I travel, I would like to be able to take that with me just to have it, just to have high-speed internet no matter where I go. So to the random prefers to be anonymous friend of Watch JR Goes, thank you for letting me borrow your Starlink. Watch JR Go, aka John Ross, thank you very much for hooking me up and thinking about me when he talked to you about it. This has been an eye-opening experience. I have a feeling multiple people I know are going to sign up for it, including myself. One last thing before I end this. The app, it's really easy to use. Yeah, you got to log in to change a few things. It's really easy to use. It's easy to stow it away. That way you could travel it, put it in a box, etc. Super easy to use. If you're going from place to place and you're setting it up from scratch, sometimes you can spend 5-10 minutes, get everything up and running. But once it's up and running, it's just good to go. Well, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day. Did you get her?